a seat. Good evening. My name is Olivia. Thank you so much for joining me today for this study. Our focus today will be on how a new website functions and how it can be used. I want to reiterate that we are not testing you, we're testing the site. Your knowledge level is ideal, so don't question your answers. Feel free to report precisely what you're thinking. Please do think aloud throughout the interactions and let us know your thoughts throughout, as well as your decision-making process. We're doing this study to make sure the site is up to par, so please don't worry about offending the designer. All information will help them create the best possible designs. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them, but just know some may be too specific to be answered. But I will tell you when that happens, so feel free to ask all of your questions. The computer will be recording your actions, voice, and face. These recordings will only be used for this project and only shared with the instructor, teacher assistants, and a select few peer reviewers. This also helps the designer and myself to review the session. This recording will also help myself and the designer to review this session later, and also allow me not to have to take too many notes throughout the process. The recording will only be used for the context of improving this website. Is it okay that you be recorded?
Yeah.
Thank you. So now we're going to start with a few basic questions. What do you do for a living?
I am a program assistant.
And about how much time per day do you use a computer, tablet, or internet-connected mobile device? And feel free to answer according to weekdays versus weekends, because most people's work affects that.
I would say at minimum 6 hours a day.
Okay. And what sites do you frequent the most?
Google Drive, Google Docs, the Google Suite.
Do you find these easy or difficult to use?
Easy.
Do you recall any specific improvements or worsenings over time / updates with those applications?
It's nice that I can use the different apps like interchangeably, and like they can communicate with one another, so it's pretty seamless. There are some like rather like they seem pretty easy to like maybe make an improvement to, but just hasn't happened. Like being able to assign a task to somebody and keep rather than creating a new list. Just like little things that maybe it was a pet project that they decided to launch and then no one really ever came back to it to try to like improve it, or if it was just something was overlooked. So yeah.
Interesting. So do you ever book travel online?
Yes.
What kind of travel do you book online?
International.
Thank you for your responses. Now we will move on to the site study. First, please take a look at the site in front of you. What do you notice?
Lines that I'm unfamiliar with, but I see there's a URL navigation bar, there's a search bar. It looks like browse regions, so you're selecting a location, and then looks like maybe tickets, if that's applicable.
Thank you. So some background information for you is that this is a rough version of a national park website. This service, the National Park Service, is going to be updating their online presence, allowing for more park information to be available, as well as services such as online booking. Now, let's get into the tasks. I'll ask you to solve a specific problem, and then you will begin using the site to solve it. Please remember to talk your way through your answers and avoid simply searching. If at some point you feel you do need to input data, click on the area or the field where you think that data will be input, and dummy data will appear. So first, please browse regional parks using your zip code and compare the first 3 results. Excellent, thank you. So now that you have a couple options, please navigate to a park and find out more information about its features. You are able to scroll. Yeah. Okay. Now you can click the home button if you're able to find that. Okay. And now we will be using a search term. So please search using a term and then filter your results once they're returned. Oh, I'm sorry, it looks like, hold on one second. Where were you trying to click? Right around here?
The box.
Okay, we'll just skip that one and come back to it. Okay, let me just pause this. Thank you very much for your patience. So now we're back on the homepage, and we will just resume that task, which was to please use a search term and filters to return specific park results. Just a dummy term is fine for this input. Okay. Yeah, so like I mentioned in the beginning, if you just click on the input area where you think input would be, dummy input will come up, and then from there you can just navigate as if you had typed in that input.
Oh, okay. I understand. All right, sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay. Understand.
Perfect.
Okay, cool.
And now the last task is, now that you have some results, please navigate to finding acquaintances that would be at this park as well, if you wanted to look into finding a friend at the park.
Cool.
Excellent. And if you wanted to contact this person?
Yep. Connect, contact.
Okay.
Cool.
Great. Thank you. Perfect. So now we're going to run through, if you would navigate to the other tab up here. Perfect. So now we're going to run through those same scenarios, but with this different design. So starting at the top again, please browse regional parks using your zip code and compare the first 3 results. Great. And now that you have a couple options, please navigate to the park page and find information about its features. Awesome. And now we can just navigate home if you're able to do that. And now we're going to be using a search term and then apply filters to the results which are returned. It looks like it's acting up again, but you're definitely clicking on the correct areas. So don't worry. We'll consider that a success. And now that you have a few results, again, click on a park and see how see how you would find a friend if you wanted to find a friend at a park.
Yeah. Friend found.
Thank you for your participation today. So I have just a couple follow-up questions, mostly based on activity throughout the test. Again, this was a test of the website, not you, so feel free to give unfiltered answers. So first of all, because of the tool we were using, at times when you clicked around, blue highlights appeared. Did that influence your decision to click in certain areas?
Not at first, but after I kind of started to see a pattern, I realized yes.
Okay, and what did you think that the blue highlight meant?
That location or whatever, that button was active.
Okay. As you were searching for locations, when you plugged in your zip code for browsing regions, did it make sense to you to be placing that on the secondary level, or if you had simply been told to search your zip code, would you have placed that elsewhere?
Probably would have placed it in the main search bar had I not known there was a separate browser or browse by region tab.
Okay, and do you think that that was the same on both experiences, or more so on one or
Both.
the other? Okay. Okay, and I noticed that to find a friend, you initially went back to the home page. What was your thought process, and how were you thinking you would find a friend?
By going back to the home page and looking for a friends tab or chat type thing, just because of I'm indoctrinated in the Facebook interface.
So do you think that modeling that interface, especially for friend functionality, would be valuable?
Yes and no, because once I found and once I saw where you could easily find a friend at that park, it was very easy to understand and follow then, and it immediately clicked for me oh, this is very simple because I'm looking at this park, I can find out what friends are at this park, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool.
Did you have any other general thoughts throughout the process? You were definitely very quick to find your way, and that led to minimal discussion along the way. So did you have any thoughts as you went through that maybe you didn't articulate because you found your way?
Yeah, precisely that. It was a pretty intuitive interface. At least from my experience, I've been using computers my whole life, and I found it pretty easy to navigate. At first, it's just understanding, what's what, but all the icons were icons that I've seen used in other other websites, and it was very easy to catch on. So no.
Okay. And any other closing thoughts?
When's this gonna be active?
I probably never.
All right, cool.
But I'll show you the final designs. Thank you for your participation.